Everybody, we are here. Dane and I here for season 2, episode 3 of the Always Relevant podcast. Dane, what's going on, man?
Getting close to football. A little excited. What's going on with you?
I'm just hanging out. If people don't know, so I think I forgot to say my name. This is Terrell Cummings here at Dane DeMayo on the Always Relevant podcast. We're waiting for full season. College football a little bit started this past weekend. We've been dealing with some NFL preseason football, but this coming weekend starts actual college football. We're both hyped about it. I'm ready to go. I know Dane's excited for the NFL seasons. He thinks his Brownies could win the Super Bowl, as he spoke about last week. We'll see if that's the case. Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's repping the Brownies shirt. I'm repping the flag football fanatics because I was kind of an unofficial coach this past spring. So that's how we do it here. But yeah, we're gonna start off this show like we normally do. How are you and how you really? And I'll start it off. How am I? Am I right? How am I really? As always, I'm all right. How am I really? For real, I'm all right. Just hanging out, trying to get this work done for school. So got papers due, got tests to take, finals to take, all that stuff. But we're getting through it and just trying to make it almost done. Set to graduate in December. So it's good that DJ, our friend DJ, is there with us throughout the whole process because we definitely can bounce ideas off each other and help each other through some things where it's difficult where you don't know somebody. So, Dane, how are you? And how are you really?
Well, a little sad. It's August 30th. Summer's about over. Just spent another couple days at the beach, Dewey Beach. Love it there. Ate about every kind of thing that swims in the ocean for a couple days. Got my drink on a little bit, just nice. Relax, as we get into the fall season, been trying to move south for 30 years, just hasn't happened yet. So
yeah, well, you end up moving to the Northeast, a place you said you'd never moved to, and you're pretty much there.
Yeah, and I ended up in Boston for a while and all that. Yeah, I know. But yeah. But no, I was at Dewey Beach, man. It was nice weather. It was good. How am I really? I'm excited for some football, man. I love it. Even though I hate winter means football, and I'll take the football. You know what I mean? So ready to go. Ready to talk about what we've seen this weekend a little bit.
No, so let everybody know, because I know I never heard of it because I'm not from that way. Where is Dewey Beach?
Dewey Beach, Delaware, man. Getting towards southern Delaware, right on the water, right on the ocean, about a mile and a half long. Great place to go. Great place.
Sounds like a good time. Sounds like you're there, doing old school Jersey Shoring it and fist pumping and gym tan.
Oh, no, man. People out here don't go to the Jersey Shore, man. You go to Delaware and Maryland, man. You don't go to Jersey. Don't believe what you see on TV. Nobody goes to Jersey. You got to pay to get on the beaches there. You know what I mean?
No, that's no good.
Yeah, nobody goes to Jersey, man. Don't believe all that garbage you see on TV. You can believe the idiocracy, but you know what I mean? Other than that, yeah, nobody goes there, man. People want to have a good time and actually go somewhere nice and stuff like that. You go to Delaware and Maryland, man. Yeah, that's what we do.
I got you.
Nobody goes to Jersey. So
at some point in time,
don't go to Jersey. So
good to know. Hopefully next year have time to come out there and see what Dewey Beach all around. So it'll be good. It'll be fun. Have a good time out there.
Yeah, Dewey, did Rehoboth this summer. Actually, they're next to each other. Went down to Ocean City, Maryland. Went down to Charleston. Went down to Jupiter, Florida. Man, I was hitting up and down the coast this summer. So
hey, man, you were beaching it up. We normally go down to Destin, but we held off on that this year. Having a kid and everything is probably not good to take him out in the sun quite so early into this world. So we decided to hold off on going on any beach vacations, but we'll be trying to hit up a beach again next year for sure. Typically going around the Destin, Florida area, and I don't know. Apparently, we might be going to Myrtle Beach too, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But wanted to jump to before we get into all of our segments. Wanted to jump to give big congrats to the Ohio team in the Little League World Series. They got runners up in the whole Little League World Series. They're actually close to my hometown where I live, the Hamilton West Side Little Leaguers. So it was pretty cool seeing them on TV, seeing community get behind them and everything. They were out there in downtown Hamilton watching on the big screen, big crowd out there supporting the team, supporting the boys on that team and everything. And I think that Little League has has been to the League World Series. I think it's been 3 or 4 times that one little league has represented Ohio. So I mean, it's pretty cool that it's like that. And I thought they're going to win it this year, but it wasn't their time. But still, much respect for them for getting that far, because obviously not many teams are able to do that. So big ups to them for sure.
What do we read? Ohio had never made it to the championship game ever. So, congratulations getting there. I actually thought they were going to win it. I guess we have to give Michigan something this year. So if we have to give something up, we'll give up the Little League World Series to Michigan this year. If we have to give something up, I'll give that.
Hey, that team from Michigan, they're from Taylor, Michigan. That's around where you were from, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was living right there. Yeah, I was living right in Taylor for like 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the North Taylor Little Leagues, what it was.
Yeah, right on the border of Detroit. Yep.
Yep. So, no, there you go. So you can appreciate that.
But I was right there. Yeah, you were up. You visited me when I was up there. That's right.
Oh yeah, for sure. Good times. Good times. There's always Little Caesars close.
That's right. Detroit has Little Caesars on walking distance from about anywhere in the
everywhere
Wayne County area. Yeah.
But we won't get into those trips to Detroit because there's a lot of funny stuff probably can't talk about on this podcast. But I promise you, completely hilarious. Steaks were ordered, beverages were had. It was funny.
Hey man, we got love for the D. We don't like their teams, but we got love for the D.
And we do. We do. That is so true. So true. So, all right. First segment, we're gonna jump into it real quick. We have a few things we're gonna talk about today. Well, actually, before we do, did you do goat yoga or not? Or
no, that's next weekend. I was at the beach all weekend. Next weekend to get ready for the Brown season. I'll be doing that Sunday next week. This weekend. Okay. Yeah, this week.
Gotcha. No, just wanted to make sure. I'm sure there's people that are interested in that. Actually, we're gonna talk about the NFL preseason games, whether or not the NFL should have preseason. Actually, yesterday took Caden to his first Bengals game. So he was excited about that. It's just a preseason game, but got out there, you got to see the stadium and everything, and he was super excited. So Caden, if you didn't know, is my 6-year-old son. So he was really excited about that. And, he enjoyed his time at the stadium. He looks forward to going back. And hopefully you do the full fan experience, get tailgating and everything. Hopefully we won't see too much craziness there when we do it. So.
No, it's good. Nothing like a game in Cincinnati in August.
Yeah, well, it was a little warm, but luckily we're in the shade. So, I mean, that helped a little bit. If we were sitting in the sun the whole time, that would not have been cool. But, no, we lucked out, had some seats in the shade, so it wasn't too horrible. So I was happy about that. So going back to the football and the preseason, should NFL have preseason games? They moved to a 17-game schedule. They took one preseason game out. Are they needed? We saw J.K. Dobbins got hurt for the Baltimore Ravens. He's running back for the Ravens. I don't know if he was a starting running back, but he was at least going to get some run this year.
He was going to be the starter.
He was for sure to be the starter? Okay.
Yeah, I think he led most yards per scrimmage last year, 6 yards from the line of scrimmage. Next was Nick Chubb, 5.4, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, J.K. Dobbins, Ohio State guy, obviously, big-time runner for the Buckeyes when he was in college. Hate to see this happen. That's why this really came up. And I don't know, listening to all the shows and radio and all that stuff, I've heard so many different things on how they should do. I mean, it was crazy. I was listening to Browns radio, before the game. They had Doug Deacon, old school Browns guy, tackle, you know what I mean? And they played 6. He said he played in 6 preseason games one year. 6.
That's right? Crazy.
And he said they used to play, in non-NFL cities, playing around and stuff. So then, obviously the preseason goes down and your starters don't play. And then you get, to where we're at now. There was 4 and now there's 3. Now starters aren't even playing in the 3 games because we got 17. You're hearing about people wanting to go to 18-game schedule. They think it's going to go that way in 2 preseason games, maybe no preseason games is the trade-off to get to 18 games. I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff on these shows.
That's crazy on the body to think about.
I think the quality of the football suffers when people don't practice and play. You have 2 things, I think, affecting the quality of football a little bit. One is there's no preseason games. Actually, 3 things. 2, they don't practice near as much, with the union negotiating less practice time and everything like that. And free agency, where, teams don't stay together anymore. like the
Right.
70s Steelers, Packers in the 60s, Browns in the 40s, 50s, right? Those teams, used to show up, have a bunch of preseason games, played together for years, right? So I think a lot of the quality of the football is hidden by the fact we're getting more scoring because you're not allowed to play defense anymore, and not the kind of defense I want to play or see played any longer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which really opens up the passing game when quarterbacks can't get hit, receivers can't get hit. That hides some of it, I think. But I also think that, basically, I think the whole game suffers a little bit by none of this. So getting rid of all preseason games is kind of rough. And I think getting rid of the preseason games eliminates the ability for people that come out of nowhere, the great stories, the guys that come from the small schools, or the guys that come out of nowhere and become players. Rare, but it happens, right? And those guys aren't going to get that chance. And I think it makes college football more important. You got to perform at the college level like big time and do well at that combine because you're not going to get opportunities in the pros. So,
yeah, that's the tough part because they're just going by measurables at the combine, and there's a lot of guys that look like Tarzan, play like James.
I like James, man. You've seen it so many times.
There's some dudes they look the part, and you get them on the field and they can't really ball.
Or they just don't get it, right? Like, what
Right.
I mean? The game doesn't register. That happens in all sports. I think Kwame Brown in the NBA, he had the body and the athleticism, but I don't think the game ever clicked with him, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, some people it just doesn't come to. So,
right. And football is a little bit more complicated than what people probably can imagine or think as far as that. I mean, granted, if you know your job, you'll be good to go, but it is a little bit mental where you have to kind of know what's going on around you, based on formations and, what changes in formations and everything like that, and what you're seeing on the fly and how adjustments go on during the game and everything. So, I mean, it's more than what people think as far as that. But, yeah, no, it's tough. And without any preseason games, like I said, those diamonds in the rough is harder to be found because, you can't get them out on the field. You can't see them play. Some people can just play. They don't have all the measurables. They're not the right height. They're not the right weight. They don't have the right speed. They don't look the part necessarily, but some guys just about them, they can just play. And that's just what they are. And they're hard workers, and they can go out there and they know how to tackle. They can go out there, they can block, they can do what's necessary to be on the football field with guys that may be more athletic than they are.
Yeah, I mean, I was, watching the Browns game. The Browns are going to cut some good players. They're going to cut guys that wouldn't get a look if it wasn't for these preseason games. And then you got a guy like their sixth round pick, Felton, that running back. He's going to make the team, and he's going to be in the offense because of what he's been able to show in some of these games. Now, on the flip side, a lot of these teams are saying, you're hearing through the the networks and stuff like that they get a better workout when they're doing their practices together. These teams are practicing together all week, and they feel. But I don't think anything replaces game speed and game time. And definitely conditioning, right? You remember when we played. Remember that first game's rough back.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, it's 90-plus degrees outside.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for our defense because we're out there and our offense wasn't clicking yet. We could go 3 and out, and it'll come out and we'll score in 4 plays, go 3 and out, score in like 5 plays. And, we just put them in a bad spot in those first couple games of the season when it's hot and either we're going 3 and out or we're scoring quick. And it's just a bad combo for defense with the hurry of offense.
And you know what? Maybe not so much offensive linemen because obviously, defensive linemen exert a lot more effort because, we're trying to get to the quarterback. It's obviously you don't expend as much energy as you do when you're coming at, So when also NFL rotates linemen now, rotates corners, right? So you're not out there the whole time like you used to be. That's a factor too. But with the preseason, I don't know if they think they should get rid of all the games. I think they should at least play 2. I like seeing the starters get a little time. I like seeing Baker Mayfield play some snaps. You're seeing all over Twitter. All I care about is people who don't get hurt. All I care about is people who don't get hurt. Like you need to get some reps, in my opinion. Maybe some people don't think. Now, does Myles Garrett need reps? Probably not, right? But you're a defensive end. That's a little different than a quarterback going out there and building. Getting some game action and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Linemen, especially linemen. To me, offensive linemen working together, I think it's important. And like being able to
when they're seeing real stunts and real blitzes and not even from early preseason, late preseason, to the first game of the season, they're not seeing like everything they're going to see in the regular season as far as stunt wise and blitz wise and all of that. So offensive linemen definitely need to work as far as that and their communication, how they're seeing the game, hopefully together. As far as doing
and then you got teams that have issues with positions. Some teams more than others, right?
Right.
One of the things I think it's harder to turn things around now in the NFL because of the free agents, because people jumping around. So that's why, the Browns bringing back basically the core of their team this year for the first time in 20 years, probably since they've been back. Right.
Right.
So, so we expect big things. Now, if you're a team like the Jets, right, and you're coaching that debacle, right, you got a new quarterback, you got new people in every position, you got a new coaching staff and everything like that. And you only get 3 games, maybe eventually only 2, maybe no preseason games. I mean, that's tough for those guys. Like, for instance, I'll use positions like the Browns. I think linebacker is still a massive question there.
Yeah.
Seriously, even with the kid from Notre Dame there, I think, and he's played well. Big question. I think these preseason games help you find out who's a guy who can surprise you and play some snaps, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Same with the Bengals. That's like one of the positions that I was worried about before the season was linebacker and their ability to be able to cover, receivers in the slot and run backs off the backfield. And I still worry about that because that's where they struggled. I feel like there's some of the linebackers weren't really quick enough to be able to do it. I don't know if it was necessarily fast enough or quick enough or, their hips are too tight or whatever it is. Like, I just feel like that I feel like running backs and receivers in the slots will still get open on them. It just seemed, I won't say get open, but it just seemed like it was too easy for them to catch balls and get into better routes. So I don't know.
Yeah. So, water there, but I think that the preseason you probably need a game or 2 at least. I think you want to say 3 is too many, that's fine. You want to give us 18-2, that's fine, but how physical football is, and with 18 games long season, man. Can you imagine playing 17 games, right? You're a primary player playing 17 games, man. That's a lot of football.
Right.
It's gonna be hard to stay healthy at 17 games, especially if you're a player that's a little older. And then, but I think on the flip side is if you can make more money in a shorter time frame, right? So if you're playing 17 games, do they make more on their contracts? Probably, because they're game checks, right? So I think possibly they could be making more money in a shorter period of time, that they might not make in a shorter season.
I can see the owners adjusting those contracts though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the total volume, right? But I think 17 games is a lot, especially what they do this year. The AFC teams are playing what? 8 home games or something like that, or 9, and the NFC's playing 8, right?
Yeah,
and then
something like that.
And then, but the one games, there's a couple, like maybe it was the Falcons, who's only going to have 6 home games because they're playing one of their home games in Europe. So I mean, it's going to get tricky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So,
but for what I've seen from the Browns, I got to say Baker Mayfield threw another one of them touchdown passes that only a few guys can throw. The haters got to stop hating, man. That was a nice ball.
Like, that was perfect ball. I can't hate on that. That was a good ball.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Hodge is the guy who caught it is a guy I think needs to make the team because he's made plays all preseason, but we've known that he's been on the team before. And the thing I like about him too is he's a stud on special teams, right? So you have him, he might not be your starting receiver, but he's going to go down and tackle the guy on returns.
Right.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And those guys you need. So I'm hoping he makes it. I think he's a player. But some people got cut today. Remember, today's cut down day. I don't think anybody's announcing anything official because they got to have their roster down by 3 tomorrow, I think. But
I think so. They were. I mean, I haven't seen for the Bengals or Browns yet, but I have seen some teams that have started making their cuts. I know apparently the Bengals are looking at an offensive lineman from Detroit. That was a veteran. Oh, he was there for I think it was a second round pick that they had from he started 3 or 4 years, something like that. I mean, he was a solid player. So I don't know why he got cut. I think it's health reasons why, but not positive about that. Anywhere he goes, you have to do physical as far as doing that. But no, I mean, it'll be interesting. Like I said, for the Browns, obviously, they're going to rely on Nick Chubb running game. They have the play action passing game that seems like it's going to be working for Baker. He does have accuracy. That's one that he definitely has. And he proved on that throw in preseason that he still got it. I mean, that was literally like the perfect throw. It was either his receiver was going to catch it or nobody was. Like, I can't be mad at that throw at all. And that's like, that's pretty hard throw to make. That's, what he did with it. So, plus Nick Chubb's on my fantasy squad. I drafted him number 1. So, or number 2 behind Austin Eckler. So I plan on Nick Chubb doing big things from this year for the Brownies.
Well, I think he's going to. He's still going to be running behind the best line in the league. And a lot of starters weren't playing a lot. You got to see how good the Browns scheme is. So it's not just the players, it's the coaching, right? And just real quick, what Stefanski was able to do in a COVID year in his first year as a coach and win 11 games with the Cleveland Browns, right? I mean, he's the rookie coach. He's the rookie coach of all time. Not should have won rookie coach of the year, but rookie coach of all time to do that with that team after your boy Hugh Jackson was in town for a while, followed by Freddie Kitchens. Just when you thought he was the worst coach of all time, you get Freddie Kitchens. So
that was tough there, Freddie Kitchens.
So I got 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
Browns Chiefs opening week in Kansas City. Who you got?
Opening week in Kansas City?
In Kansas City, 425 national television, 2 weeks away.
I'm taking the Chiefs. I think it's in Kansas City. Arrowhead's going to be super loud. I think the Chiefs will try to make it into a track meet. Obviously, the Browns try to slow it down. We'll see how it goes. I guess it depends. It depends how much of the clock that the Browns can chew up, and if the Browns can somehow halfway slow down the Chiefs' offense. Because they have a lot of weapons. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. They have Allaire, but he's been hurt. I don't know if he's really considered a weapon or not. He can be, or whatever. But you have Hill and Kelce mainly, and those are the 2 guys you got to worry about.
NFL Network countdown: 100 best players. They got 2 of the top 5 in Kelce and Mahomes. So
and they have Mahomes, who has probably the strongest arm in the league, and he can throw harder than most people, like falling away towards the sideline and chucking it, 50 yards down the field like it's not a big deal. So it's gonna be tough. The Browns can do it.
And then
it's gonna be a big time game for sure.
And then my second question is Browns Bengals. What's the split? They gonna win? Bengals 2-0, Browns 2-0, or split?
I think they're gonna split. I feel like they split every year. It's just rivalry games.
Not recently.
Yeah, well, the last 2 years they haven't, but leading up to it, it's been splitting pretty good. Or the Bengals took it. So this is kind of the Browns' time right now. We'll see. The Bengals are trying to make a comeback, behind Burrow and everything. So we'll see how that goes. I think they'll split this year though. But more things have to go right for the Bengals to be able to do that versus the Browns. The Browns are more talented.
All right, I got the Browns against the Chiefs. I got the Browns 2-0 against the Bengals. Carry on.
Can't tell. Dane's the Browns homer. No, he really feels that way. Browns are good this year. I can't hit him for that. So, all right, we're gonna move on to the next topic. I saw something for the Mets thumbs down. So the Mets, I think it was Javier Baez and Francisco Lindor, a couple other players in the team. Whenever they get hits or whatever, they look at the dugout and they give the thumbs down or whatever. And Javier Baez said that they were going through some things, and if they weren't doing well, like the fans come out and they will boo them and everything. So they're basically like, forget the fans, forget y'all. We get hits, we do well. Forget you, thumbs down to you. That's it. So what are your thoughts on that?
I can't believe we're even talking about this. This is why the Mets are the Mets. This is why they are what they are. A massive payroll every year that's a disgrace to baseball. All right. Awful, right? These guys aren't hitting, right? So the fans are upset that they're not hitting, right? They're making a lot of money. People pay a lot of money to go to these games, and these dudes ain't hitting, right? Francisco Lindor, man, I'm a diehard Indians fan. He wasn't even the best player on the Indians, and he got that big contract. I'm so glad they didn't sign him. There's so many flaws in his game. I mean, people love him. He's got that $1 million smile, that Hollywood smile. People love.
He does. He does.
He's got that. I know Jose Ramirez doesn't even necessarily maybe look like an athlete. I love you, but he was the best player by far on the Indians. Still is. Dude's a stud. Lindor isn't even fast. Like, Lindor's slow on the base pass. He's got a good glove, but he doesn't have great range, right? He's not very quick, and he don't hit. He's got home run happy, right? And Baez, why are we – this is just what do we say before we got on this thing?
In general, with fans, though, and how fans feel like they're entitled to whatever they feel like they're entitled to, should athletes be more like this? All right, forget the fans. You know, you guys are there basically to pay our paychecks, whatever. That's on you to watch the games, but we don't have to cater to you. We're here to play the sport we want to play. If you don't like us, cool. If you don't support us, we don't care. We're getting paid to play ball. That's all. Let me
ask you this. Say you're working in I don't know. Say you're working in I don't know, Yankee Candle, right?
Yeah.
People come in, you just thumbs down. Yeah, you suck to your customers. That's basically what the Mets are saying to the people coming and paying for the games and the paychecks.
Right. But that's yeah. But think about this. That's people come in. They love your candles, blah, blah, blah. Then there's a stretch where your supplier, couldn't add a certain kind of wax for a candle. For that 1 week, like, you get dogged completely by your customer base for that 1 week that you were that your candles were off. Now, for everything else you've done previously before that or whatever, for that 1 week, they make it sound like it's the worst thing to happen in the world. So then after, all right, forget them. Yeah, we make great candles. You don't like it? Hey, thumbs down. If you like it, come on, buy our product. Support us.
It's so bad. Like, Yankee Candle, like, I don't care how bad you've screwed the customer over, right? You still got to smile over them and say, yo, we're going to get the right wax next week or something. You know what I mean? You don't thumbs down. Like, if you notice the GM, the Mets, one of the, people with the Mets, I forget who it was, like,
I saw that.
Was not happy with it, right? Because
he's the business guy. He's like, oh, we can't do this. We can't lose fans, blah, 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 whatever else. If they're Mets fans, they're going to show up.
How much did this owner pay for this team, for this Mets team?
Yeah, probably a nice chunk of change. Yeah.
It was something crazy. And he paid all that money for a team that's always going to be second fiddle to the Yankees. You're always going to be a second-class citizen. You're always going to be on the back page of the paper.
Yeah.
You know what? Man, I lived in New York. I don't even like going to Queens. It's too far, man. I went to a Mets game against the Reds the one time. It took me an hour to get down there on the blue line or whatever from, like, I forget what part I was in, but I'll never go back to Mets Stadium again. It was a terrible experience. Terrible baseball.
So you rather go to Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, man. I'm going to roll up in the Bronx. I'm going to go in the evil empire and watch some real baseball. I'm not going to, if I, yeah, like, what are you talking about, man? It's a joke. That dude paid, what, a couple billion for the Mets or something? I can't remember what it was. It was something crazy.
They still have a serious payroll, though. I mean, they can fork out some cash. Somehow, some way, they can still do it, right? Now they have to do it properly, and they've had some bad luck with some injuries with their pitching. But overall, I mean, it could still be all right, but this year's not their year.
So
should they have given thumbs down to the fans? Overall, probably not. Like, I can't say that's something I would necessarily have done, but sometimes I understand why players go, all right, forget the fans, because fans are in their feelings a lot about their teams, and they say some crazy stuff that they never say to a player in person. For real.
Francisco Lindor signed that big contract. Basically was hurt about a month and a half, maybe more this year. He's batting what? What's he up to? Is he 210 even? I don't even know where he's at. Maybe a couple home runs. And there's 7.5 games out of a playoff spot, in the NL East. 7 out of the wild card. They're not going to the playoffs again, right? No thumbs down. No thumbs down. If I was him, I'd try to hide. I would not even be looking at them, putting the thumbs down. I'd try to pretend like I wasn't even out there. I'd hide from them. I'd be so embarrassed to play like that, making all that money. But, that's just different. You know what I mean? And, we'll see what happens. But I think the Mets are a mess. I can't believe we're talking about the Mets. Who brought up this topic? No one.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. That was my fault. I was really more talking about the thumbs down. This happened to be the Mets, and them being the Mets kind of just adds to
No other
it
Major
all.
League Baseball team, I think, would do this. Only the Mets would come up with something this stupid, this incompetent in a sporting event. I don't think any other Major League Baseball team would do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably
Only
right.
the Mets. Only the Mets. I'm done talking about them. Nobody cares.
All right. Well, then, who we do care about then are Cincinnati Redlegs.
Yeah, let's talk about the Reds. Let's talk about somebody who's relevant. Someone that's in the media for good things and not being idiots.
Right. Well, the Reds, they're hanging on to a wild card spot right now. In the division, they're 8.5 back of Milwaukee, which they just lost a series to Milwaukee. They just now lost a series to the Marlins, which they can't do because the Marlins are bottom feeder teams. You can't lose to teams like that. Right now, they just lost to the Cardinals. 3-1 just now. And I hate when they play the Cardinals. So now the Cardinals are crawling back. So the Reds are 8.5 games behind the Brewers. Now the Cardinals are 12 games behind the Brewers, so only 3.5 games behind the Reds. So
they're only 3.5. They actually, by winning that game, got a whole lot closer in the wild card then. So they were 3.5 back of the last wild card spot, which is the Reds. So now what? They're 2.5 behind.
Yeah, 2.5 behind. Padres only 1.5 games behind. Or actually, that means the Padres are one game behind.
Yeah, you gain a full game if you play the team, right?
Yeah, you get a full game play the team, but the Padres didn't play them. I don't know if the Padres won or lost.
San Diego's 1.5 games back.
Yeah. So either way, the Cardinals coming back. The Reds this year, honestly, they can hit. They can hit as long as they're healthy. Right now, one of the best players, Winker, he's out. He's been hurt. Eustakis, he had come back, but he just got hurt again as far as some tightness or whatever. I don't know if it's hip or whatever. The starting pitching has been doing all right this year. Castillo got to a slow start, but he's been finding his groove overall. Even this game, he gave up a 2-run home run in the first inning, but he was doing fine after that. But really, it's just the relief pitching that worries you. I swear there's been at least 10 games, no joke, where the Reds bullpen has given up at least a 2-run lead in the 8th inning or later. And that's tough as far as that. Their bullpen, I don't know what the deal is. I know there were some players that got hurt, and that's tough. And there were some other players that just weren't living up to expectations. And I don't know, Amir Garrett, I was man, the game season, he was talking like he's gonna be the closer, talking big trash and everything to everybody. And that dude can't get anybody out. Either he's wild and not around the plate, and then he has to throw a 3-0 count. He has to throw a ball right down the middle of the plate. Someone takes some yard because he only throws 93, 94 mile an hour, which in the major leagues, that's a meatball, and they're going to take a yard. And they did often as far as that. So he doesn't have the right to talk trash to anybody because he can't control his pitching. But everybody else, the players you do have, like Lorenzen, talking about him coming back, he does throw 100 mile an hour, but he throws 100 mile an hour 4-seam fastball that doesn't move. And when people get around on that, guess what happens? It goes yard, especially in Great American Ballpark, because it's not the Polo Grounds from back in the day. Me and Dane go and hit batting practice, putting up for deck right now if you felt like it. So it's one of those things where if they can figure out relief pitching, I really think they can make a run. I think they have the starters that are good enough to do it. I think they have the bats. I think they're top 5 in the major leagues hitting. They do score runs, but their weakness has been the bullpen all year. It's been the bullpen. And that's the one thing you worry about down the stretch because they need those guys to show up and be able to have their rotation going through 7th, 8th, and 9th. They should be able to get guys out. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. And they don't. It's always an adventure. And that's not a good thing when you're trying to make it to the playoffs. And if you do make the playoffs, you have to play the Dodgers probably in LA. And those guys are going to hit. It's just what it is.
Well, San Diego right now is actually in leading that division, and the Dodgers are in the first wild card, but they're up.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. The wild card, don't the wild cards meet each other for the 1-game playoff? And then the winner of those.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because the new format. Yeah.
Right. So that's what they'll have to do. They have to play, right now they will play the Dodgers in Los Angeles.
They'll play the Dodgers or the Giants.
Right. So which means they're going to probably, if they play the Dodgers, they're going to see Max Scherzer probably or Walker Buehler. out there. Neither one of those is somebody you really want to face. Dodgers only have Trevor Bauer right now.
The good part, Trevor Bauer, that's crazy. But it's only one game. A lot can happen in one game. So
that's true. And the Reds can't hit. So I'm not discounting that at all. Anything's possible in those games for sure.
You got to get in. You got to get that one game chance. So I noticed Philly's not quite dead yet. They're 4 games behind the Reds for that final spot, now 3.5. I don't know if they won tonight or not. Are you bullish on the Reds getting the final wild card spot?
I think they can do it. I really do. They've been pretty solid all year. Like I was telling you before, like they don't really have superstars on their team. They have a team full of like just solid players. Typically, like in the field, they don't make a bunch of mistakes. They can usually hit pretty decent throughout their order. But especially like top 5 guys, they can usually hit. Like Kyle Farmer's come in, be able to play shortstop. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes playing short. His bat's been pretty solid overall. Like they have a new kid coming up in the minor league system. We'll see what happens next year. He's at single A, Dayton Dragons. So he has a couple more years before he makes the big leagues. So I think they have Farmer at shortstop. We'll see what happens overall when they have Moustakas healthy and if they're going to play him or Suarez. I think they'll lean towards Moustakas because Suarez is either home run, strikeout, or walk. That was about it. And so I think Moustakas was fine as grew until he got hurt again. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think the Reds can do it. They can make an appearance in the playoffs, but they got to start, getting their stuff together down the stretch.
All right, Cincinnati, you heard it. Buy your tickets now. One
That's
game
right.
playoff. Get your
games
seats.
are fun.
It's happening.
Might be flying to Cali.
That's
game
right.
Playoff.
It's happening. That's right. Everybody, you heard it. Get your tickets now. Reds, playoff, anything can happen.
Hey, this is the time. This is the time. Can't mess with this now. Let's go.
Let's do it. I'm pulling for them. Indians are done. They already won the Ohio Cup. They decided that was enough for the year to take the Ohio Cup. They don't need the playoffs this year.
Oh, yeah, so they're taking the rest of the year off.
We're going to let Cincinnati do this one now. So, yeah.
All right. That's fine. Rapid fire. All right. I come out see some a crab shortage. Rapid fire. Tell us about this, Dave.
Yeah, man. Oh, this was bad. So there is a crab shortage, people, on the beach, right? A crab shortage. The all-you-can-eat crab meals are hard to find right now. I found one in Ocean City about a month and a half ago. So in Dewey Beach is a place called Woody's, right? And it's the best crab cake ever. So I'm all excited to get my crab cakes. I get the 2 crab cake meal every time, right? They only gave me 1 crab cake. Oh, whoa, there's 1 crab cake on here. What am I supposed to do with this? 1 6-ounce crab cake, a thing of macaroni, and a Caesar salad, right?
Right.
Which is basically, I go, well, is this the appetizer? Where's the other crab cake, right? I said, well, didn't you read the thing? It's a little cheaper to just get the 1 crab cake. Oh, I said, well, that makes me feel better. And there's a thing on my table that says because of the crab shortage, where you can only give you 1 crab cake, so everybody else can enjoy our crab cakes as well. Okay, this is crazy. Someone's got to figure out why there's a crab shortage. There's no way I can go to the beach and live off a 6-ounce crab cake meal. It has to be 2 crab cakes, 2 6-ounce crab cakes for my dinner.
That's my question, though. Is it just a shortage of actual crabs? They can't get them, or a shortage of fishermen getting the crabs from the ocean and bring it back?
It's a little hazy. I'm not sure what it is.
Right.
Everywhere you go tells you there's a shortage of crab cakes. There's a shortage of crabs. I mean, this is a national catastrophe here because that's what I like to eat when I'm on my beach trip. So
right.
We went to other place and it was everywhere. Everywhere was limited the amount of crab cakes. There is a crab shortage, and I wish we could get to the bottom of it. I don't know if we got time to, but we would. If we could afford investigative reporting, I would send people out to check this out for us because this is a big problem.
We'll see what we can do. We'll try to figure something out.
We'll try to figure something out. We're going to get back to you on details on the crab shortage. This is new to me. It hit me hard this week. I heard rumors about it, but now it's affecting me personally.
Right now,
and not to mention that Woody's then gave me a bill for $33 for that one crab cake meal.
Oh, so see, the price was still up there.
Price was still up there.
One crab cake, though.
One crab cake. National catastrophe. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
All right, yeah, we'll do some research on our end. We'll see what we can find as far as that.
Yeah.
Next up, milk crate challenge. The milk crate challenge. How stupid is it? And do you think you could complete it?
I thought the ice bucket challenge was exceptionally stupid, but this one just took stupid to a whole nother level of stupid, right? Because at least the ice bucket challenge, you're just going to get cold. This, you're going to break your back. Have you been seeing these videos?
I've seen a few of them. I can't say I would ever really try that because you mess up, you fall. Like it's not like it's not going to feel good hitting the ground. You know, like hope you're on some grass, but either way, laying on some milk crates, it's not going to feel good. It's going to hurt. They're going to be unforgiving. You're probably going to break something. Odds are, because you're going to be falling some random angle, and it's just not smart. And even in the heyday, in my best shape, could I have done it? Possibly. Probably my balance was better. I was better core strength, better back strength, all that stuff. Was more agile. Now, definitely not. Back then, possibility. I'm not going to say I couldn't do it, but I wouldn't try it because that's just stupid. I'm not putting my body through that. That's crazy. So I don't know. What about you?
It is the dumbest. I don't know. I was pretty agile. For one, always been a little heavy just to stand on a milk crate. Ever stood on a milk crate? You know, like
yeah, they're not very.
They're a little sketchy with me just stepping on one, let alone 5 stacked high, right? So this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. If you try it, you're stupid. And Terrell's got more on this later on, but
yeah, for sure. I definitely have some more news about this milk crate challenge. We'll get into that in a little bit.
That's all I got to say about it. Like, don't be stupid. Don't try to milk. We do not. What do you call approve?
We do not endorse. We do not endorse the milk crate challenge. Yeah, you're not getting endorsements from us. Yeah. So no endorsement, no sponsorships. If milk crate companies decide to contact us for sponsorships, we might do it then because we will accept that. But that's the only way. Other than that,
if you want to do something stupid, go buy a ticket to a Mets game. If you want to do something stupid, don't do the milk crate. Don't do the milk crate challenge.
Yeah, then you'll just get thumbs down from the players.
Yeah, thumbs down.
All right, up next, Jake Paul, who's YouTube sensation, beat Tyron Woodley in the 8-round boxing match on Showtime in Cleveland, Ohio. First of all, the fact that it happened, they're making a boatload of money because they're the ones promoting it. So big ups to them for making that big paycheck. I'm not mad on them. Take promoters out of it. Jake Paul and his brother Logan Paul, they're YouTube sensations. They have huge followings. So they both got paid. Jake Paul won, but he was talking a little bit of trash to Myles Garrett. And the real question is, do you think Jake Paul can beat Myles Garrett in any kind of boxing match or fight?
I don't know if anybody could beat Myles Garrett in a fight, let alone that dude. Maybe Tyson Fury would probably beat Myles Garrett in a boxing match, right? Because he's huge and he's a professional fighter. But now Jake Paul ain't beating Myles Garrett. Are you kidding me? Oh man, I can't believe he's starting with him. I mean,
do you think you could beat Jake Paul?
No, no, I'm too old, man.
In your
my heyday? Yeah, maybe. I mean, how big is Jake Paul? Do we have his size?
I don't know. I don't have his actual size.
I'm not even sure.
But everybody, he looks like about 6'2", 200, like 205.
I don't know.
Maybe a little heavier.
You know what? We gotta check this out because I mean, for one, Mayfield's what? Not Mayfield. Mayweather's what? 140 pounds on a good day.
Yeah, that was his brother that fought Mayweather.
Yeah, I know.
As far as that, so
this was Jake Paul, right? Yeah, Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
So he is 6'1", and I don't see a weight. So he's pretty lean. So, like you said, maybe 200, right?
Yeah, like I was thinking maybe 205. Like it said, Paul hit the scale at 190, and Willie was at 189.5. So that's their weight that they're weighed in at. I would imagine his walking around weight is like 205, if I had to guess.
I have him listed in here as a cruiserweight. That's small. Yeah, but anyway, no, not beating Myles Garrett. Stupid to start a fight with Myles Garrett. If they're doing it for publicity, it's good. I love what they're doing. Like, I don't care if they act like idiots or not. They're rich. They're living
Yeah.
the life.
He said,
Doing.
I was listening to the All the Smoke podcast. He's on there with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes because they're part of Showtime as well.
Yeah.
And he inked a deal with Showtime. I forget how many fight deal. It's at least a 5-fight deal with Showtime. He did himself.
And he picks the opponent. He probably picks the outcome even. I mean,
but he has a following where he knows he's going to get viewers. He's going to make money because people love him or whatever. So, hey, I'm not mad at him for the hustle.
I love it. I think it's the American dream, man. It's great. Yeah. It's good
and
for him.
And he's showing everybody what like Dana White and the UFC is doing, where they don't pay their fighters or they take most of the purse and they give their fighters just a little bit of it or whatever. Like, he's exploiting that, and it's the truth. As far as that, if he's going in, he's making a boatload of money. He has the opposing fighter to make a boatload of money. They can't beat that. I'm sure fighters will take L's, just go out there and make that that paycheck.
You brought up a good point. Like, it'd be a lot harder to do this in team sports, but like in individual sports, why let everybody else get a piece of the pie for just a belt? If you're in it for the money, man, just be like, why doesn't say Tyson Fury, go Joshua, let's go do this on our own and not pay anybody and take all the money themselves. I mean, it's interesting to see what direction this takes. Because let's face it, he isn't even a real fighter. I hate to say that, but he's not, right?
No,
he's
never
not fought a real boxing match. He's it's a show. It's
you wonder how long it's going to take.
What it is, it's wrestling.
You wonder how long it's going to take for somebody with real skills has that same social media following for as long as he has. He's had it since he's been in like a kid. He's only 24, but he was like on the Disney Channel back in the day. He's been on like YouTube and all kinds of other social media platforms, like making that money and building his following. So wait till someone who's a really good athlete does the same kind of thing and just merges two worlds together. You can really take advantage of it.
I mean, you've seen LeBron and Odell Beckham and some of these guys really use, but no one's ever used it like this, where he basically is in control of everything.
Right.
Man, it's his show. I mean, obviously he's got to negotiate with people like Mayweather to make sure he gets his cut, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, but he can get to those tables and have those conversations because
that's that is the key. He can get to any table he wants. Yep.
100%. So okay. Last, because this is kind of more than rapid fire, but does Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns make it to the end of the year in his relationship with Kendall Jenner? End of the NBA season with Kendall Jenner?
I don't know. Kardashians change ball players out like underwear.
That's true. That's true.
Devin Booker's been hanging on there for a while, though. You know what I mean?
He has, but it's funny. I mean, I don't think it's to make it to the end of the year. I think the switch up is going to have to happen. The switch up will happen at some point in time.
Switch up, you think?
Will she be with someone else? I'm not sure, but I don't think the relationship makes it to the end of the year.
I'm giving it longer. I'm giving him a chance here. He's just in the NBA Finals. He's one of the good young players.
He is.
I think as long as he stays relevant, he'll be good.
The thing is, though, like I feel like he could step up from Kendall Jenner, but maybe he's like, well, Kendall Jenner's from family where their family's doing business very well. Maybe he's taking opportunities too. I don't know.
There's lots of pictures of him hanging in Italy. So he's living that life.
Hey, I hope it doesn't mess with his game.
Hey, a lot of them have messed with the game. Harden had to get rid of that Chloe to get his game back. You never know what happened. So
has the guy's game back. I'm not a Harden fan though. I'm not a Harden fan, so he can do whatever to try to fix that. Especially the new rules. I look forward to what happens with the new rules next year. We won't be able to draw so many random fouls, jumping backwards and sideways. And then
I can't wait. I'm excited for it. I think it's the end of the little guys. We know it. So
yeah, probably. That's probably true. We'll talk about that in another show though.
Yeah.
Last, Rich Paul, agent of LeBron James. His relationship with Adele. I didn't even know about this till today when Nate said something about it. But how long is that going to last? That's my question. How long has it been going on? How long is it going to last? I was just surprised it even happened in the first place.
I don't know. Adele's body transformation is amazing. When I see these pictures of her with Rich Paul, it's amazing. This is a tough one. Does it make it
because
to the end of the season?
Yeah, you don't really know much about either, right? Like
No.
I feel like she would be like a halfway like normal person.
Well, she's
like
English, right? Isn't she from England or something?
She's from England and everything. So, but I just don't picture her being like a diva celeb all the time. But could be wrong. Never know. But they're all hanging out at LeBron James' wife's 35th birthday party. You know, those two.
All right, I'm going 2 for 2.
Westbrook.
I'm going to say, yeah, it lasts longer than the season. I'm going to go.
I think they will too. For whatever reason, I think they will too.
For whatever reason. We wish.
For whatever reason. We'll see if he survives his lawsuit coming from Nerlens Noel. I'm not talking about that, but yeah. Nerlens Noel saying that he lost him money, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
As well. So, all right, here we go. Dane, next. Get real with Dane. What you got? Who's your topic on?
Oh, man. It's a topic that's very dear and painful to my heart. Kevin Love in the national news again this week, right? And it really, I got excited. Like, I'm on vacation, right? I'm sitting there having a drink, and I almost spilled it because a report came out on Twitter that Kevin Love and the Cavs were negotiating a buyout, right? They just got that 7-footer from the Bulls, Laurie, and got rid of Larry Nance Jr., which is a great guy. He's a great person for Cleveland, but I'm glad he's gone because he's always hurt. He isn't that good. And I'll get killed by people for saying that because they can't overlook the court stuff with the stuff he does off the court. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and you know what? And Altman's credit, he's went and got 3 7-footers now. What do you hear me ripping people for the Cavs all the time? They're too small. They can't shoot. They're too small. Can't shoot. So, you know what? I just ripped Altman on our first podcast, and I still think he deserves a good ripping for some of this stuff. But he did go get us some 7-footers. He drafted Mobley. Anyway, nothing's getting fixed until Kevin Love is gone. So Kevin Love supposedly said this week that he wishes he was the one traded to Portland and not Nance. What do you mean you wish? You can't play anymore. Nobody wants you. You know why? Then the following day that the news article came out that your agent said that you are not negotiating a buyout with the Cavs and you're going to stay in Cleveland is because nobody wants you. Nobody. If you took the buyout and had to give up a couple bucks, right, to go play, nobody's going to pick you up. LeBron ain't going to come save you. You can't even run up and down the court. Has anybody seen a Kevin Love on the court lately? There was only about 5 games you got a chance to see him. Then Kevin Love goes and steals a 10-day vacation to Vegas to play for the Olympic team. And what they say in that article out there, the guy, the Olympic head guy, say came in out of shape and wasn't ready to play. And he said in the nicest way possible, he lied to them that he wasn't in shape or whatever and was going to be able to play. So this dude is crying. He wants a trade. Because he thinks somebody wants him. Rival GMs all over Twitter saying there is no market for Kevin Love. All right. So this is your get real moment, Kevin Love. Get real. Nobody wants you. Please retire and go away. You have single-handedly destroyed the Cavs franchise. Single-handedly. Real quick, Terrell, they signed him after LeBron left to keep the Cavs relevant, to build around him thinking we were getting a guy from Minnesota and to take us into the playoffs the year after LeBron left. And then we could, build around him, get players to maybe come play with him, and have the Cavs remain relevant. In a team sport, I am blaming one person for the complete failure of the Cavaliers, and it's Kevin Love. The complete failure of the entire franchise is on him. It's on him. And he should be ashamed of himself to steal that $60 million. You know what? I used to try to tell myself, well, he did help us win the title in 4 years of titles. No, my goodwill's gone. They got to pay this dude $60 million for 2 more years, and he couldn't play in a 50 and over league. I'm done. That's it. Get real. Get real, Kevin Love. Nobody wants you.
So Dane is not a fan of Kevin Love.
Oh, man.
That's the moral of the story. Dane's ready for him to go. He's ready for the new 7-footers to come in, the new look Cavs to come in and see what they can do going forward.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. So they're going to embarrass him, pay him $60 million, make him sit on the bench. I can't even take it. You know what? It's unbelievable. So, yeah, I just want to tell Kevin Rell, get real. Nobody wants you. Don't wish you were traded because it's not going to happen.
nope, you're going to be stuck in that squad for sure.
Oh, man. I know.
So,
I know.
all right. Final segment. Well, one of the final segments, messing with your money with Rell. Today we're talking about before the Milk Cake Challenge. Today we're talking about Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh, the Steelers.
So, yeah, Steelers wide receiver.
I'm liking this.
Always known for his social media, try to stay up with everything on all the trends and everything, doing different dances, bringing social media out there on the football field, pregame and post-game and everything like that. Well, he decided to go ahead and do the Milk Crate Challenge. We were just talking about before. It was super stupid. So in this case, he's on a 1-year deal, 1 year, $8 million contract, $7 million signing bonus. Basically, he already got a $7 million signing bonus. He has $1 million for the rest of this year. This is a do or die year for him getting a multi-year deal somewhere else. So in the NFL, if he would have gotten hurt, the Steelers probably could have cut him. I don't know if they would have, but they probably could have cut him actually, and they could probably get to save some money on the salary cap because they already paid him initially as far as doing that. Then he'd lose out on the rest of the money for the rest of the year. And then he'd probably get signed to a multi-year deal because he would have got hurt over something stupid. And someone, okay, we're going to bring you in at a lower value. Then you can come prove yourself again. So that's another year, 2 years, try to prove himself again to get that larger deal. He's 24 years old. If that's the case, you have to wait till he's 26 to get that larger deal. Then you're starting to get old by NFL standards, and you're on the way down, especially as a receiver, because your speed starts to go. Unless you're some freak athlete like Antonio Brown or something like that. But my thing is, why would you do that in the first place, knowing that, I mean, I'm sure he had supreme confidence in his athletic ability and all that stuff. I get it. But why you put yourself in a situation? Was it a bet? Was he going to win like a few $1 million for doing this? Because he could definitely lose a few $1 million for doing this. So I don't understand it from my point of view. Being if I was there, if I was him running a business for myself, I'm thinking myself and not putting myself in those situations because that's bad for my body. That's bad for my business. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm doing what I can to put my money in better situations so I can advance it and have generation wealth later on in life. But that's just me. I am. What are your thoughts on that? Dane, I know you have some.
You brought up a lot of good points because now one thing is he could actually get an injury where he's never the same, right?
Right.
You've seen how some of them people are falling. Maybe he can never play again, break his neck or something, right? Then you've got the possibility that he does get hurt but can't return. But now he's going to lose that second big contract, even if he comes back as an elite player, because by the time he proves it again, he's going to lose that money. So, I love it when Steelers are in the news doing stupid stuff. It's not the Browns anymore. That would not happen under Stefanski. You would not see Odell Beckham Jr. climbing on the milk crates for some idiot video. I mean, I love it that it's the Steelers, this stuff now. It's not the Browns anymore. It's the Steelers. It just makes my heart happy.
No, it's good, but it's so true. And I'm glad he didn't fall. I'm glad that he didn't get hurt, for him, for his sake. He probably just wasn't thinking he's being a kid, not long out of college, because he was a young player in the NFL. When he came out,
he was
still
the
like
youngest.
19 years old.
Yeah, he was the youngest.
Yeah, so he's been in the league for a little bit. He's like 19, 20. I think he's like, I think he says like 23 now, right? Either way, I mean, he's still a young guy. He still has a lot of years left in him. I don't know if he's the number one receiver. That's a whole nother conversation. But you can't be doing stuff like that, jeopardizing your money. That was stupid. Hopefully, the people in his circle, the people that he listens to in his circle, gets in his ear and just reminds him, hey, let's not do something to mess with your money, because this could really mess with your money to where you'd be getting offered. He was offered a 3-year deal from Baltimore. He took less money to stay in Pittsburgh as far as that. So there are teams that were looking at him. So we'll see what happens now. He did stupid stuff. He needs to go out there in the field, prove it this year. I think he's going to lose money because I don't think he's a true number one receiver. He has a lot of competition. There's a lot of mouths feeding in Pittsburgh as well. So I think he kind of made the wrong decision with contract-wise, but I'm not him. So that's fine. Hopefully he does prove it. Hopefully he doesn't make any more mistakes that he just did and does something where he's going to physically hurt himself going forward. But, hey, Juju, just remember, don't mess with your money, man. Do whatever you want. Just make sure something that's not going to keep you getting paid, because most jobs out in this world don't pay like professional athlete jobs. Remember that. That's all I got to say. Don't mess with your money. We're out. I'm out. That's all I got.
That's right. Yep. Well said. Well said.
No, thank you. Thank you. So, man, that's all we got today. Dane, good having you on. Fun, lots of fun as usual. We're all excited for the fall season's coming up. We're ready to see what's going on. Michigan's coming on Saturday. They're playing a directional school, Western Michigan. They already named Kate McNamara the quarterback. I like the quarterback. Let's see what happens with the rest of the team, because right now I really don't know. But hopefully we're in the right direction. Paul Finebaum's already calling for Michigan to fire Jim Harbaugh. Dane probably called for the same thing if there's a coach in waiting to go ahead and fill his position. But that's not happening yet. Another year of Michigan football under Harbaugh ball. So I'm supporting it to the fullest. This household supporting it to the fullest. We're ready to go. So, Dane, what you got?
Got Buckeyes against Minnesota on Thursday. We're going to find out something about two teams in a hurry. I like that matchup.
Yeah,
so looking forward to that.
Let's see if Minnesota can start rowing the boat again like they did in PJ Fleck's first year there.
Not happening. Definitely ain't happening Thursday, but I'll be interested to watch. And one last thing, nothing like Cincinnati FC to help Columbus break a 6-game losing streak.
Oh, gosh,
Columbus sneaks out with a 3-2 win against Cincinnati FC to take the Ohio Trophy once again. And that's what I'll leave you with today. A little MLS.
That goalie kept every save he made. He couldn't just hold on to it. The ball would just come loose, and there was rebounds for days. It was absolutely terrible. Elena, my wife, she's a goalie. She said it was horrible, completely terrible. She's like, hey, they got 4 in the previous team. They need to get rid of them. So she's on board. Get them out.
And that's what I'll leave you with. Go Crew.
All right, y'all. Talk to you soon. Have a good one.
See ya.